We have been talking about the tax problems facing President Barack Obama and his administration, and now NBC News has learned that Tom Daschle has withdrawn his name for consideration to be Secretary of Health and Human Services. This is obviously a huge blow to President Obama and his administration because, of course, Daschle was going to help shepherd through huge changes that this administration wants to make in health care policy. But unfortunately, the weight of these issues and the new era of responsibility that President Barack Obama has talked about has been sullied in some ways because of these problems with taxes. First, it was Tim Geithner, the Treasury Secretary. He made it through after paying more than $30,000 in back taxes. Then it was made clear that Tom Daschle, former Senate Majority Leader who has close ties with a lot of people around this town, who is well-liked, well-regarded, revealed that he failed to pay taxes, about $130,000 worth, because he had a limo and a driver provided by a big Democratic donor. He knew about that in the summer. He just recently tried to make those changes to his tax form. We just saw him up on Capitol Hill yesterday apologizing to the Senate Finance Committee and fellow senators, saying he was deeply embarrassed about all of this. And now NBC News reporting that Tom Daschle will withdraw his nomination as Health and Human Services Secretary. A big deal, of course. We are also learning, of course, that as NBC's Savannah Guthrie is going to join us shortly. She is reporting this, and she is ready now for us. And Savannah, tell us what you know. Daschle, I understand, is out.
He's out, and we just received a paper statement, actually, Nora, because believe it or not, the White House email system is down, at least the press office. First, we have a statement from the president saying that Tom Daschle had asked for his nomination to be withdrawn. Quote from the president: "Tom made a mistake, which he has openly acknowledged. He has not excused it, nor do I. But that mistake and this decision cannot diminish the many contributions that Mr. Daschle has made to this country." And then it also has a statement from Tom Daschle where he says that he's withdrawn his name. And he says that after 30 years of exposures to the challenges inherent in our system, he knows that this requires a leader who will not be a distraction. And he goes on to say, "Right now, I am not that leader, and I will not be a distraction. The focus of Congress now should be on the urgent business of moving the president's economic agenda forward," paraphrasing there at the end. So in any event, this comes as something of a surprise. Certainly, we all knew about the troubles that surrounded Tom Daschle, and just as recently as last night, he was up on the Hill meeting with the Senate Finance Committee, making that public apology, and seemed to have weathered the storm, at least in terms of what we were hearing from the Senate Finance Committee. But now we've just received this statement from the president and from Mr. Daschle withdrawing the nomination, and so the question will be to Robert Gibbs when we hear from him at 1:30 Eastern Time, why now? Did something more come out? What made Daschle want to withdraw now? And of course, as you know, Nora, this comes on the heels of what we've been reporting all day, which is the Chief Performance Officer, Nancy Killefer, having to withdraw her nomination over tax issues. So these issues will be front and center at the news conference, which we expect in, I guess about an hour or so from now.
Well, Savannah, and of course, as you have been reporting all morning and as we have been talking about it, this was going to put the White House in a very difficult situation because it was going to have to say essentially explain what's the standard for getting forgiveness on tax issues. And of course, from what we understand from Nancy Killefer, she owed about $1,000 in back taxes, and Tom Daschle owed about $130,000 in tax. So the White House was going to face these questions about having to defend what's the standard and why, and is the standard different?
I think that's right. Now, to be clear on the Killefer issue, we do not know the full extent of whatever tax issues she has. I mean, that reporting is still going on, and it's my understanding it's more than just that $1,000 incident that, frankly, was known about at the time she was nominated. It's my understanding there are several tax issues. It's more than one, so that was the problem. But the larger point you raise is absolutely right, that what people would do then is lay out the facts as we know them. Killefer next to Geithner, next to Daschle. And if you laid them side by side, and Killefer was not as egregious or way more egregious than these other two, the question would arise, is there a double standard? Why would she have her nomination fall apart when these other two gentlemen had theirs go forward? So whether or not that was part of the calculus, we just don't know. Hope to hear more about that, Nora.
All right, Savannah Guthrie, thank you.